Hello and welcome back. In this series, I want to go through the entire Elyos campaign. I will not only explain the campaign quests and their meaning for the world of Atreya, but also tell you about all the important characters and their personal story. We will also include special places of interest that you always wondered about. And lastly, I will explain all the dungeons, their backstory, the reason we go and kill everything there, and how we follow up on our tasks after the dungeon. So lean back, relax, and let's start. In the last video, we stopped the certification of Eltnan by repairing the Mystic Springs. Whilst doing that, we also came in contact with the Lepharists again. This time our journey leads us to the Agairon Village. A lot of the villagers here are suffering from severe stomachache and fever. The centurion that guards this village is afraid that the brook in front of the village is contaminated and asks for our help to conduct some tests. So we go, collect the sample and give it to the centurion. The centurion is familiar with the smell of the contaminated water. It's Meslam Tata's blood. If you remember, back in Verteron, the two toxicologists, Kato and Garnis, have created a poison from Balau's cells. This poison contaminated the land in Verteron and created the poisonous swamp and its contaminated creatures. But how did it end up in Eltnan? It couldn't have spread naturally across that huge desert. But more important now are the villagers, and thankfully we have the antidote for the poison. It is called Eustile's Tear, as we learned in Verteron. And since we recognized it quickly, the villagers do not suffer any long-lasting harmful effects. While we took care of the villagers, the centurion sent out a few guards and found out who was responsible for the contamination. The Lepharists. The guards saw them pouring something into the river, and when the guards tried to stop them, they escaped. The centurion then asked us to hunt them down and stop their plans, whatever they might be. So we do exactly that by finding and killing them. While we were gone hunting the Lepharists, the antidote from Sanctum has arrived, and the villagers are already feeling much better now. The only thing left to do is to purify the brook, which is very hard to do because there are so many Lepharists here, no matter how many of them we kill or scare away. But the Agairon Village will be more careful with the water source now, and if bad things happen, the antidote is now here as well. As we talk to the villagers, we get to talk to a priest named Aerope, who tells us about her past lover and now Lepharist named Isan.
Even though he wasn't a deva, Isan was a natural leader among the people of the village. People looked up to him and I loved him. When the big dry threatened our little brook, our only supply of drinking water, he suggested that we dig a well. Isan and some villagers dug a well but found no water. When they dug deeper, the walls collapsed and the villagers were buried alive. Isan blamed himself and begged for forgiveness, but survivors attacked Isan and injured him badly. I coaxed them into letting me lock him in a warehouse. It was for his protection, but Isan felt that I had betrayed him and our love. He broke out the warehouse and disappeared into the desert. I thought he was lost forever. Many years have passed and most have forgotten Isan, but he has not forgotten us. He's returned and now he is the Lepharist boss. Isan has occupied the mystic spring of Agairon, keeping us from sealing waters. And then he poisoned the brook and people fell ill. I'm afraid of what revenge he will wreak upon us, or me next. He will not listen to me who betrayed his love. Will you save us? Will you kill Isan before he commits another crime? Please end Isan's cycle of revenge. I can see no other way to save the village and protect the people.
Now we know that revenge is the reason for all the bad stuff happening to the Agairon village, and the source of it is a man named Isan. As we approach the Lepharists, we see Isan surrounded by his men, but even his loyal men could not save him from our shattering spells. After we took care of Isan, we go back to the priest Aerope and make our report.
I can't stop thinking about Isan. How did things go so wrong? Why did the villagers blame him for the tragedy? How could he have held a grudge for so long? Isan, what happened? My heart aches, even though I know it was the right thing to do. If I had not been a priest, perhaps I would have fled the village with him. Perhaps we Such regrets will get me nowhere. Was the sacrifice necessary? All this death, this senseless, wasteful death. Though Isan has been sent back into the flower of ether, I don't think his soul will rest easily. Isan's real grudge was with me, but we were so close once. But I was the one who locked him into the warehouse. No wonder he felt betrayed. I only wanted to protect him until the villagers could look past their grief, but he never knew that. After his escape, his torn and bloody clothes were found in the desert not far from the village. Everyone assumed that he was eaten by the griffiths. Some of us who grieved for Isan collected his clothes and other belongings and marked a small grave for him. I would like to take flowers to his grave, but just any flower won't do. Isan used to bring me ruco fibers when he visited Verteron. Only lately did I learn that the flower means please understand me. So could you please bring me some ruco fibers?
What a sad and tragic story. We go collect some ruco fibers and bring them to Aerope.
Flowers cannot possibly say how sorry I am, but perhaps they will let Isan and me both rest easily. It is the first time I've seen ruco since Isan left. And look how cheerful the fluffy white blooms are. Please wait a moment, I will arrange it into a bouquet. I made a bouquet, but I don't dare to visit Isan's grave myself. Would you take this bouquet to Isan's grave on my behalf? Perhaps Isan will relinquish his grudge and find peace in the ether.
We deliver the bouquet to Isan's grave and let him know that they come from Aerope. Then we return to Aerope and talk to her once more.
Isan and I did many good deeds together. We work hard for the good of the village. If only we could be still together. It's terrifying how one unfortunate accident can destroy so many lives. Thank you for bringing the bouquet to Isan's grave. Perhaps now he will rest peacefully. I will remember Isan for the rest of my life.
And with that, the tragic story of the two lovers comes to an end. Feeling mistreated and revenge itself can be such a huge burden, especially since both of them only wanted the best for each other at first. But since they didn't communicate the right way, since they couldn't understand the other person's point of view, it led to this tragedy. But that was today's journey. Let's see what awaits us tomorrow. Until then, see ya and goodbye.